What's good, everyone? It's Smudger here, and as you can see by my slightly dishevelled appearance, it is relatively early in the morning when I'm filming this because the patch notes have just been released. The Modern Warfare Warzone update has essentially just gone through, so we're going to cover the patch notes first, and I'll leave timestamps in the description. Then we're going to go on to everything the patch notes haven't covered that we've heard about so far, mainly through the account Modern Warzone, which I'm sure a ton of you are aware of. I have not had my morning coffee and we are feeling a little bit groggy, but let's just jump into the patch notes and we'll go from there. So they fixed dev errors for Xbox, fixed subtitles for a few of the operators, nothing really major. Armour should now spawn as ground loot across all matches. Of course, this was an issue in that you just got into some matches and there wasn't any armour. Tactical map has been updated. You can now double click to place danger ping. When hovering over some pingable object, you'll now see the name of the object, which is pretty cool. It should be slightly easier to point at exactly what items you want when they're close together, so you're not running around like an armour satchel trying to pick it up. Changed delete pings to remove my pings, nothing really major. On Rebirth Island, which I play a lot, there was an exploit which they fixed. In Plunder, self-revive can now be dropped, which is pretty cool. Keyboard or mouse or any bumper ping control system, holding the ping button down for a short time will let you clear all placed pings at once. That's pretty nifty, especially pings do get in the way sometimes. Weapons, the Cold War AUG's base recoil magnitude has been increased, and Cold War weapon unlocks now appear properly in the after action report. From what I've seen on Twitter, the Cold War AUG feels relatively the same, and obviously they haven't done anything to the FFAR and they haven't done anything to the M16, so that's very much still the meta for the time being, so that's something to probably just bear in mind. Attachments, the suppressor muzzle now correctly displays muzzle flash concealment as a pro. Cavalry lantern now does damage to vehicles like it's supposed to. Smooth zoom now mount properly on vertical walls, that's pretty interesting. I didn't actually know it didn't do that. They're fixing bugs I didn't even know about. Fix some ADS firing animation issues on scopes, which is similarly like the equivalent to the VLK. The 3 times it looks glitchy sometimes when you shoot with it. Fixed a bug where some Cold War barrels were not having their intended effects. That could be a big one. I hope it is, because I'm getting kind of tired of this meta. Operators, Baker's 4th operator mission objective to eliminate 15 enemies using a weapon with an attached 2 times magnified scope or greater now tracked properly. And of course, these are some hefty updates because there is a lot they've brought in. There's a lot they've brought in outside of the patch notes that we know about so far as well. So do just bear that in mind. If you haven't updated already, it's going to take you a second to update. So essentially, if we just jump over onto Modern Warzone's Twitter, fantastic account. The zombie conga line is first up, and it did not make it to TV station. I imagine that will be tomorrow. The attack helicopters are back in Warzone, which I'm not thrilled about. And within the zombie computers, so when you finish the zombie computers in the event, so downtown is the current one, and then there'll be ones at hospital, prison and shipwreck. You can now access them to buy kill streaks at a containment monitor station. So this is the big change. This bombardment, which requires a key, call in a missile barrage over the areas affected by the outbreak. So this is likely how Warzone is going to die, or Verdansk, sorry, rather than Warzone, is that this will be called in and Verdansk will get nuked. And you can get the gas mask, RCXD, self-revive kit, armor box, loadout, advanced UAV and foresight are probably the 2 big additions outside of the bombardment for things you can actually use right now. You know what the advanced UAV is? An advanced UAV, $12,000, exactly the same as if you would buy one at a normal buy station. It just saves you the hassle of having to buy UAVs repeatedly. This foresight one is something that I think was in the game files, or it was leaked 2 or 3 seasons ago now maybe, in that you can see every circle. So every circle, every movement of the circle for the entire game. So if you rack up 30k, you get your loadout, I'd buy Foresight, hands down. If you were playing to win, you'd have all the best rotations, all the advantages you could possibly want. You could just go sit in that final circle if you really wanted to, and just really hold down your ground. I really like that as an addition to the game. It's going to be hard to get in solos, so it doesn't really affect that so much. I know a few people have been saying that solos is going to be even more campy now, because you've got to try and rack up 20k to get this. How often do you rack up 20k in solos unless you're being aggro or you just get really lucky with chests? And also, because it is solos, when multiple people do get foresight and they all rush to the same circle, they will kill each other. It somewhat balances out. Solos is a bit of a campy game mode, it is what it is. But really interesting to use in quads, in the bigger kind of game modes. I think it'll make custom lobbies within Warzone tournaments with pro players really interesting if someone manages to get that, because they are notoriously campy and slow in those tournaments. They're fantastic to watch occasionally from like a humour point of view, but it will be interesting to see how that changes the dynamic. I think it's a great addition. And then if you actually look over in, for all you plunder players, I haven't forgotten about you. The containment protocol station in plunder only allows you to buy an advanced UAV for $3,000. So there's going to be advanced UAVs constantly because the amount of cash you get in plunder, that's kind of impossible not to get. If you haven't got $3,000 in plunder, you're doing something wrong. What's this? Reports of mastery camos from Cold War are seeing an update in Warzone that makes them more in line with how they look in Cold War. That's pretty cool. There was a lot of complaints about the camos not carrying over as nicely as they should. They didn't look as nicely. I think if you did want to keep up to track with anything else I've not covered in here, this is the account to follow, hands down. It's a hell of an account. They do a lot of work. I'm pretty sure it's just one guy. He might have some help, but I'm pretty sure the majority of it is done by one guy. And that is where I'm going to leave it today. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you want to find your way back. If anything else major comes out, I will release a video on it after work, but I'm just about to head off to work, so I thought I'd get this video done before then. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.